Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm here to give you the philosophy how to expand a bit upon creativity, imagination, and innovation. Everything is created twice. First in the mind, then it becomes reality. Whatever in the mind a man can conceive and believe it can achieve. So you go out there day after day to do the work. The confidence to put yourself out there boldly, authentically, even though the success, the creation has not arrived, has not manifested just yet. But you know that the richest place on earth, the richest real estate on earth, is the graveyard where dreams and goals and everything else like that die along with you because you didn't have the courage, the philosophy, the frameworks, and the go-getter energy to make things happen instead of wait for things to happen because you're going to have all that. This is the method, the philosophy known as create like a god. This your man's Jaron Mitchell, aka Jaron Mitchell. And today's talking about, we be talking about today is be a consumer and a producer. Why you need to be a consumer and a producer. So we're in an age where a lot of people just consume, but don't be the producer. Don't go out there and take enough action because they scared. They're fear. They're scared to do so get judged, you get criticized. We talked about it on yesterday's episode why you need to have criticisms, feedback, especially constructive criticism. Don't be afraid of criticism. It is one of the 7 ghosts of fears. And if you fear you're going to get criticized, you may want to have to do it because fear is on the other side. Okay. What you want is on the other side of fear, basically. So in this episode, the theme of this, we're going to be diving into the creative duality of every artist, entrepreneur must embrace. Okay. And I mentioned this consuming, okay, what you consume to feed the mind, and but produce to build the vision. Okay, this is consuming. It's like reading books, right? This book just came in, which I got this book that just came in volume. Hopefully it got volume. But actually I'm reading this book right here, which probably gonna have to read multiple times. This book, right? The Linchpin, from Russell Brunson. So consuming, then you take action. Okay. There's also this, which I'm going to end up getting to, which is a self guide to self publishing, right? For comics, basically, web comics and stuff like that. And some other books. I got a lot of books, man. So you consume, but you also produce. You also put content out here. That's why I got the Create Like a God podcast, right? At the time, I know in 2019, that's when I built the podcast. It was Stay Creative. I changed it to Create Like a God, and I was off and on, and I stopped for a long period of time. I've been having plans to do it, stopped, but procrastinating or getting behind and letting stuff get in the way. And that's why I'm like, you know what? Decide we're going to keep on going in. And that's why we got, I don't know why Siri just popped up for some reason, but that's all we got about 20 episodes in now. 20 episodes in. This is episode possibly 20. I think I had 19 yesterday. So we're at episode 20. Okay. You're gonna start feeding your stuff, feeding your mind. This is also you can watch Netflix. This is also artists, right? The still like an artist stuff you can consume stuff to help you build your creativity, help you build your imagination, help to innovate. And also you go out and take the action. You go out and actually do it. You do some things, you organize some things, you do organized planning, so that way you can mash up and build something that you truly want, because now you remixed everything so much that becomes your originality, becomes that how it becomes original. So using synthetic imagination and creative imagination, in which we talked about it. I believe it was episode. Let me see, what episode was that? Let me go ahead and check. Episode episode 18 basically wasn't too far with the 2 types of imaginations. Okay. So you can go ahead and check that out. Check those episodes out. And go ahead and do that. We also episode 1, nothing is truly original. Episode 2, how to be original. Okay, check those episodes out. Understand what I'm saying? There's nothing true original. There's nothing under the sun, but you can use that. You can use all that to help you actually build your creativity, not just consume, because we're in an age of everybody just consume, and they don't do nothing. They don't put enough content out there. So you give yourself like a little wiggle room, right? So we're going to use this called I think is called the 80-20 rule. So the core of this episode that we're going to point out, which actually we're going to get to it later, but the 80-20 rule, right? We got the 80-20 rule. And we're going to be talking about a little bit more of that as well. So along with that, you guys, this is why we're talking about this. You don't want to consume. Don't put out content. Don't wonder why you don't grow on YouTube. Don't wonder why you grow on TikTok. Don't wonder why you ain't getting anywhere, because all you're doing is consuming. Or the same thing, problem with the personal development space, right? You consume a whole bunch of books. Don't worry, I've done it. I've done all this. It happened, scared, and all this other stuff. I've been through it. I understand. I'm a human being too. You know what I'm saying? So you've done all this stuff. You read a lot of books, think you grow rich, all this other stuff. You read these books or we listen to this audio, but you don't take action. You listen, you consume, but you do not take action. You need to go out there and take action. You need to put the time to take into action, and time to also, you do read about it. You could talk about it. That's content right there. Whatever you read, whatever you watch, whatever it is, it can be content. Okay. Just make sure you're doing things that's ethical. You don't want to be a clown on the internet doing anything for attention, anything for the clicks. I understand we got the 5 forms of investment: time, money, energy, focus, and attention. Okay. Attention is the new currency where the money goes, attention goes. Okay. Where the money flows, I think it was someone Grant Cardone said, the money flows, attention goes. Okay. Something like that. So where their attention is at, there's money. But you got to make sure, I'm looking at it as be ethical. Okay. Be ethical what you do. Don't be a clown on the internet. Don't just get anything for attention. You want to make sure you build your wealth for sure. Okay. There's another problem. You know, people think everything is a get rich quick scheme. You don't want to get rich quick. You want to get rich for sure. Okay. So got to make sure you consume, but also take action. Okay. 80% of the time. And the 20% is the consuming. The 20% you consume, you go out there and take the action. You go, okay, see if this worked. Okay, it didn't work. What did I went wrong? Go back to it. Listen to it. Go back over it. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I believe I got 5 points here. Yep, I got 5 points. Ooh. Okay, I got 5 points. Excuse me. So I got 5 points right here. So let's go ahead and get to today's topic. But before we get into those topics, okay, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that and like the video as well, and leave a comment below and let me know how you think about this episode, which I know we're in the beginning, but we're gonna get to later on pretty soon. And if you're listening to on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere else, or I think Good Pod too, which is pretty good, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also you leave your man's a 5-star rating and review. Okay. I will not take your stuff personally. I may make an episode on it, whatever it is that you give me, because I think that's content right there. That's content you give me. Again, when I'm saying use criticism, that was yesterday's episode 19. Okay. You can use that, make it an episode, use it for content, whatever it is you can, and I can do it. Okay. Don't be afraid. I know some of you listen to it. Now, some of you probably not even gonna say anything, not comment or nothing, not even reply to me. I understand. I know you're watching. Okay. I know it. Okay. I just know you're watching. So that's why from now on, we're not going to give up. We're going to do episodes every single day here on the Create Like a God podcast. And there's going to be another podcast I'm actually going to be creating once I get myself in a good position where Create Like a God, where I have enough content where I can have my wiggle room, because it's every single day. And I can have the other podcast I'm going to have probably gonna have some other couple episodes podcasts, but he's gonna have this podcast once every week. So we're gonna have this going. We're gonna have I have a lot of content. Okay. Make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Another thing, another call to action. I know, another one. Okay. Make sure you go ahead and go to JaronMitchell.com/iconic marker. Get your free course, A Way for Creative Freedom for Myself, or if you're trying to get some more freedom for yourself as well, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, depending on your goals, and copy our recession-proof business model. Okay, go ahead and copy it and go through it. Go through the course. You may not use what I'm going to be using, but you can also use it, whatever method of plan you're using. Just know we're leveraging. Okay, hopefully I can say something like that. Be honest with y'all. You can go ahead and scan right here and scan for the code. And again, it will be in the show notes, description below. I'll possibly have it on the pin comment, but make sure you go to JaronMitchell.com/iconic marker. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get to these points. Point number 1. Today's topic I'm talking about today is be a consumer and a producer. Why be a consumer and a producer? Okay. Point number 1, devour content like a hungry student. Be a student. Okay. What is the was it not The Strangest Secrets by Nightingale? That's what I wasn't thinking about that. But Your Wish Is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau. Okay. He talks about this. He talked about, I keep saying this over and over again, which I don't know all of them just yet. But first, who do you listen to? And what's your teachability index? Okay. Always be a student. No matter how masterful you are, no matter how good at what you do, always be a student. Do not fear of be learning. Go ahead and keep on learning every single day. A quote by Aristotle, I believe, or Socrates, I know is that I don't know nothing. Probably phrasing it. Okay. Probably paraphrasing, by the way, but that is the quote. Okay. And here's another quote right here for you. It's another thing. Still like a student, right? And again, episode number 1, we talked about this. Still like an artist. Okay. Still from anywhere that resonates with your inspiration, influence, or imagination. Okay. Nothing is truly original. Everything is a remix. Okay. Make sure you consume. That's the reason you're consuming. So that way you can create ideas for your new video or your art, your music. Okay. Study films, study art, study music, study your dreams, your own dreams, books. Okay. Conversations, nature, look at nature, everything that is a source of everything's a source of material. Okay. Build inspiration library and reference the vote. Okay. Use reference vote. Okay. Don't just consume passively. Analyze how the greats do it. Okay. This is basic. I'm gonna have an episode in this while you're watching the game footage, which is your own content. Look at your own content. Look at the. I'm gonna be listening to my own episodes. I haven't listened to it as of right now, because I'm a little bit behind on episodes. But we're gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to where I need to be at, which is probably like an average of 30 episodes. And then you guys know 30 episodes. Batch my episodes. You're gonna see it on YouTube, premiering and all that other stuff too. 30 episodes. I'm gonna have it all there, and every single day I'm gonna start recording. That way I can organize my thoughts a lot better, organize a lot of things a lot better. This is my fault, because I wasn't going to have this podcast actually published in 2000. I was going to push it back, but I decided, you know what? No, I need to do it now. There's reasons why. Okay. Don't just consume, analyze, and just analyze it. Analyze how the grades do, how well. Okay. You're studying, which is another thing you could do, is model, mimic, and master. First you model it, then you mimic it, then you master it. Okay. That's the model, mimic, and master. This is also done with business too. Okay. So artist note right here for you artists right here. Okay. So, or anybody, you can just, not just artists though, if you listen to this, but when you consume, look for shape, language, lighting, storytelling, anatomy, color theory, camera angles, and composition, etc. Okay. If you're a consumer, look for other things. If you're a YouTuber, look at the YouTube stuff. How did he do it? It's something similar to your niche or whatever it is that you're doing. How did he do that? How did he edit? How does he edit this? How do you do that? You're studying from those who already done it. You're model, mimicking, and you're mastering it. So that's what the things you're going to do. So that way it become easier for you, but it can still consume. Okay. You're going to consume you're going to devour like you're a student. You're going to consume content like a hungry student. And the law of input and output, what you put in and also is what you put out. Point number 2, today's topic we're talking about today is why be a consumer and a producer, or be a consumer and producer. Point number 2, don't just be a consumer, become a creator. I mentioned this, right? This is now the first part was the 20 part, right? This is the 80 part right here. Okay. Just so we'll create. Our deals are worthless. Execution is everything. Execute, finish. That's what execute is. You're finishing. Okay. Like execution. You're finishing. Me going to the basketball court, coach Jaron, finish. Okay. Finish it. Execute. Mortal Kombat, finish him. Execute. That's where it actually derives from. Pretty brutal, but that's what it's from. Finish. You're finishing. Okay. Watch tutorials, but complete the tutorials. Okay. Finish what you start. I'm gonna have an episode on finish what you start. But watch tutorials won't just make you an expert. Okay. You got to do it. You actually got to do it. You actually got to take the action, not just watching tutorials, actually doing it. Okay. Drawing does. Okay. Actually drawing, actually sculpting, actually creating the video, actually learning, applying what you learn, applying as you learn. Okay, this is what I was looking at the 20/80 rule. Apply as you learn. Once you learn it, do it. Okay, you got to apply. It's apply learning. This podcast is apply learning. You just don't think about it. It comes to reality. You just don't do certain little things. I'm giving you strategies, the frameworks, and it's not just my own frameworks. Okay, this is from other people. You may not think of it. This is from other people that I learned and wear them up with this content to give you this philosophy, the frameworks to get out to do it. Okay, law of attraction is good. It works, but you need to put in the action. Law of attraction. It's action. Put in the action. Law of vibration. But you got to learn these. You got to study these. It's some part of the piece that could be missing, the puzzle that could be missing. Okay. But you will get there. Okay. You just got to take an action and do the right action. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's all feedback. Okay. So, saying, let me see, watching tutorials, drawing does, recording does, publishing does. Publishing a book, finish your book, publish a book, just get a book published out, finish it, put it out there. Okay. You grow by shipping, not just by studying. Okay. The more you produce, the faster you learn. Okay. You're producing content. You learn as you do. There's many ways to learn. You can read, you can watch videos, but also applying it, doing it, get hands on, putting your hands in it, actually doing it, taking action, understanding like, oh, okay, that didn't work. Okay. That didn't work. You went to school, learn all this stuff. But the problem with the educational system, the problem with the actual learning system, not all of them, depending on where you go to, you're not actually taking action. You're not actually doing, you just consume, try to memorize things, try to memorize some stuff. But the more you consume, the more you go over it, the more you actually do it. You actually put in the work, it becomes repetition, because repetition is the mother of skill, and we are what we repeatedly do. excellence is a habit. Kind of butchered that old quote right there. But consume 20%, produce 80%. This is the Pareto's law flipped for creators. This is what I coined. Okay, I haven't seen anybody, any creator that I know of, talked about this. Consume 20%, produce 80%. Okay, 20% of the effort, if I'm correct on it, leaves let me see. Hold on. We have a topic that we're gonna have a little point on there talking about that, but I'm gonna get to it in a little bit point. But that's the Pareto's principle. Okay, flip for creators. Consume 20%, produce 80% of the time, and not even that. If you're anything else, don't have to just be a creator. Just start taking action. Take action 80% of the time. Then whatever it is you learn, you do the 20%. You take action. Okay. You taking a lot of actions. You're building momentum. You're getting that momentum. Big Mo. Okay. Getting big Mo, the law of inertia. It's coming, boy. It's coming. So that's why you need to start producing and consuming, not just consume. Okay. Don't produce 20% of the time and consume 80% of the time. You could probably do that too. You could probably flip it around. But I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what 80-20 rule, the Pareto's law, and how it works. Okay. And point number 3, today's topic we're talking about today, why be a consumer and a producer? Be a consumer and a producer. Okay. So point number 3, your voice comes through action, not in theory. Okay. There's theories that's out there. This is a theory. This is why to work. This is a theory. It's only a theory. Okay. It's only theory. The Big Bang Theory. Okay. Theory of evolution. It's still a theory. Okay. All that is still a theory. Okay. But you don't find your style. You develop it by doing. And I believe it was Steven Silver. Let me see if I can find his quote. I think he said something about let me see. I think I posted it on my Facebook too. Like something about your action, how to find your style is it. It's not. Sorry. Let me go make sure that won't happen again. I believe it was like getting the styles, refinement over time or something like that. I can't actually remember it, but that's something that really hits home. I was like, dang, man, that was cool, man. So I might actually butcher this quote here. I'm gonna try to look for it. But taking basically drawing, finding your style is refinement of drawings. Refinement. Basically, you make mistakes. You make a lot of mistakes. You do other things. You copy other masters. You study other masters, and you develop the style that you want to get from your artwork, and it refinement over time. That's what an art style is, and I think that's what the quote says. But I'm not too sure. He also has his art gems or something. Dang, I can't think. It's an old man. I haven't posted in a minute. I mean, it's probably deep on my Facebook page. So, anyways, I probably can't find it right now. So it's all right. So that's what it is. To find your style, you develop it by doing. Okay, the world is full of consumers. The producers are the one who changes things. Okay, think about producers, right? They put out content. You got to put out content. Okay, we're in a content age. Content creators. Okay, they put out content, and constantly put out content. Okay. Use inspiration to create your own unique interpretations. Okay. Mental reframe. Okay. You're not stealing ideas. You're absorbing what resonates and then transforming it into something new. Okay. In a way, you're not really stealing it. You combine it. You're stealing certain things, aspects that you like doing. You combine it, and now you transfer to something that can be new, something that is original. Okay. So that's something you can guys do. Mental reframe. Okay. So you're not just stealing ideas. You're absorbing them. You're actually absorbing them. You're actually doing it. It resonates with you. That actually inspires you to go out and make that action to do it. You're actually also teaching. You can teach. That can help you understand the information as well. That's why I talk about this. And I'm also going back to certain books, come back to certain books and keep reframing it, because sometimes I can violate some stuff. Sometimes it's something when I read something, I didn't see it before, or I didn't understand it before. Now I understand it because my mindset and where I'm at is a different level, because I'm seeking it. I'm seeking it, and I'm looking for it out. That's why the bias, the confirmation bias, you got to understand, like, okay, is this actually appealing to my confirmation bias? Sometimes you got to think like that. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to point number 4. Today's topic we're talking about today is why be a consumer and a producer. Point number 4, the 80-20 rule for artists and entrepreneurs. Okay. This is what the 80-20 rule says. Pareto's law, 20% what you consume, which is not saying that, but this is what I got right here. 20% of what you consume should lead to 80% of your production. Okay. So be intentional with what you consume. Okay. If if it is it relevant to your next project? Does it sharpen your skill set? Does it move you closer to mastery? Okay. That's what it is. Or you can watch stories. You can learn stories. You can, if you filmmaker looking at stories, looking at TV shows. Even me. I made even artists. If you're looking at animes and stuff like that, you can look at the animes. You can inspire you in your own work. So looking to refine and build your skill set for your next project and for mastery. Okay, and warning right here: mindless scrolling does not equal strategic inspiration. Okay, so that's why you got the mindless scroll, the infinite scroll, right? The endless scroll, right? That's why there's certain little things, ads or a video that smacks you like, that's what Muslims do. Okay. As I see a lot of Muslim dawah type of content, they say they have something like Jesus is a Muslim. It gets your attention. Okay, get some people's attention, and that it's a conversation starter. Okay, I know many of you probably listening are not a Muslim. Okay, you're not in the religion of Islam. I understand that, but it's just an example. Okay, what's gonna smack you, right? What's gonna grab that person's attention when you consume content? What is it? Whatever you put out intentionally, just go out and do it and learn from it. Okay, why? What I'm doing wrong? Why did something like that? Okay, so you need to get the data. Okay, and constantly consume and just put a content. If it sucks, oh well, just put it out there anyway. Okay, who cares, man? People not gonna see it again. It's gonna come split second and it's gonna be gone already. People gonna forget about it. It's probably not gonna be in the algorithm unless you subscribe a lot like my content or people like your content. They can see your old stuff. They can see some character. They can see the journey that you built in because you're documenting everything. Okay, another thing, documenting the journey. It's another way to put in some content, okay? But don't mindless scroll. Have some you can. That's why a lot of like advertisers or anything like that, or some type of videos, you have visual hooks, some types of title hooks and stuff like that to grab your attention, to people to watch, to have more watch time, to actually look, to actually engage, okay? And that's why even with ads and stuff, it smacks and makes you stop and say, "Whoa." Okay, you get to the endless scroll, like a lot of this even content. Also with I think the Red Spills place as well. Someone like the Fresh and Fit podcast of Myron, Andrew Tate, and everything like that. They probably say certain things that smack you in the face to get your attention to watch. Okay. And certain things in Red Pill that says to get your attention, to actually listen, to understand and wake you up. Because some people may listen to content, and that's why it's good to put your content out there. The artist, put your work out there, put your manga, keep talking about it, or whatever it is, keep talking about it. Because your idea can change someone's life. Somebody be going through something, and your music change someone's life. They was about to do something, they decided not to do it. So this is something you guys can go ahead and do, and that's the reason why I'm talking about this. Is use this law and don't screen, or just some people say do things for shock value, but do things that grab somebody's attention. And that's what, or the endless scroll, when some things grab your attention. And if it does grab your attention, ask yourself this question: how does this stuff grab my attention? So that way you can use it in your own content. Okay, in your own little niche, which has had nothing to do with their niche, but you can use it in your own niche or what you're doing with your personal brand. Looking for me, I'm building my personal brand. That's what I'm looking to go for. I'm building the personal brand. So this is something that you can learn. You can even learn from others that you do not like, basically. So make sure you put in that context. You can learn. What can I learn from this? Who can I learn and why? You can learn from what, or try to understand. Okay. So this is what the Pareto's law says that roughly, I think this is from Google, roughly 20% of the results come from 80% of the results comes for 20% of the cause. Okay, the cause, right? That's why you have 20% of consuming, because you consume content. That's the cause, right? That leads to producing 8%, but taking action, because you're getting ideas. This helps you get ideas. Okay, that's why you got to keep having flow, but take a lot of action. Consume, take a lot of action, and take a whole bunch of action. Okay, it could probably flip around. You could probably consume 80% of the time and produce 20%. Okay, a lot of people probably don't produce a lot of content. They don't produce, but that's why it's good to put it out to the world, because people are gonna forget about it. It's gonna get hit. So that's why you got thumbnails to get your attention, to get clicked on the videos. It's all there to get clicks. And why? And if you click on that video, why did I click on that video? Okay, this is how you studying. This is how you trying to understand. Also with Steam, you with game design, right? With game developers, right? You're looking at the Steam page and you're looking at the results that they have, and it's like, okay, they got the thumbnail, they got things like, what did they do? Okay, what makes their thumbnail so great? What makes them stand out? Their art piece. Okay, so this is what I'm basically talking about here: is the consuming and producing in ways that smack somebody in the face to have them stop scrolling or stop and watch your video. Okay. So along with that, let me see. If you're using, let me see. Yep, 20% of the calls, and if you're using that to suggest people should focus on the most, their time on producing while still learning and to consume is a bit. The correct, the correct term of I mean, it was just basically Pareto's law. I actually misspelled it on one of my notes right here, as known as 80-20 rule, which is states for many events, roughly 80% of the effect comes from 20% of the causes. Okay. The principle was originated, observed by an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto, in the 19th century, when he noted that 80% of the Italian land was owned by 20% of the population. Okay. Hey, that's interesting. Which I knew he was an Italian guy. Just that's why I left this note here. You guys can know who this guy is that came up with this law, which is in a lot of things statistics. That's why you have the divorce rate as well as like 8%, 80-20 rule. It's like a whole like nature's law or something like that. It's kind of strange. But I also got the book, which is marketing as well. I have the audio book here. It's 80-20 rule. You guys can go ahead. Let me see. If I can find it on Spotify, or you can see it on Spotify, I have it on the notes right there, so you guys can get that. Okay. So the concept was later developed by developed by the management consultant Joseph M. Jaron, who applied it to quality control in business management, identifying that the small percent, where to go? My notes. Sorry, small percent. Let me see. Drives in. Oops. All this. Let me see right here. My bad. My bad. Okay. Yep. Management identifies percentage of the faculty of driven management of outcome. The Pareto's principle is used across various fields, including business, economics, and project planning, and to prioritize effort on the most impactful activities, such as focusing on 20% of the customers who generates 80% of the revenue, and 20% of defects causes 80% of the problem. Okay. And also another book I'm gonna mention, The One Thing. Okay, talks about it as well. This is what I found out actually about it. Truly, I haven't read the book in a while. The one thing, what is the one thing that I can do that everything else would be easier and unnecessary? Okay. And you can refill it, whatever. It was the one thing I could do to practice each day, so everything else will be easier and unnecessary. Drawing. Drawing actually practicing 20% of the time can leave 80% of the effort of causes of you getting better and building with your comics and stuff like that, right? So you can use this law. You can use this law to prioritize, build revenue, and just getting the numbers and understand. I was also in divorce. I saw it in divorce. I think it's like 80% of the women, the most file of divorce is 80% of the time. So you got 20%, basically 20% of the man. It's crazy. It's some crazy stuff, bro. But it's something in the books and like that. It's 80-20 rule. And it can be used as like nature, something like that. I think they don't really describe it as that, but a lot of that statistics come down to 80-20 rule. That's why it's just a rule, and the rules can't be broken. Point number 5. Today's topic we're talking about today is why be a consumer and a producer. Point number 5, celebrate the remix. Remix. Nothing's truly original. Everything is a remix. Okay. It is not where you take things from, is where you take them to. Okay. Remix culture is real. Kanye, Tarantino, Marvel, anime creators, manga authors, all build on what comes before. Just like Bruce Lee observed styles, but created Jean Kwando. Okay. You are allowed to remix, just move it and forward and add it to your soul. That's why we have MMA, okay, mixed martial arts. Supposedly, or actually it is, Bruce Lee is the founder of mixed martial arts. That's why a lot of people try to fight him. They try to say their style is better. And that's why you understand every style has their different, they got their pros and cons. Okay. And he's perfecting his style. He's perfecting his art as a martial artist, as a fighter. Okay. And this is what is good for you as an artist. You perfect, you go out and you remix, you add stuff, this style, this technique, that technique. You start adding this different techniques. Okay. You started adding it, building upon it, so you could build upon yourself, build your imagination. Drawing out of your head, which I mentioned, drawing your head doesn't make you a great artist. Repetition is the mother of skill. Repetition, keep on doing it over again, celebrate it. This different in your stories, how many times that the Greek mythology has been told. Okay, how many times that the story of some stories in the Bible has been rematched and retold. Okay, is some of this stuff is nothing's truly original. There's nothing new under the sun. Because Achilles, okay, we talked about this in episode 1. Okay, so embrace it, celebrate it. Okay. And some people, oh, I want to be original. I want to have something original. Don't worry about it. Just grab a lot of stuff, remix some things, turn something to your own flair. You can mix it. I think I haven't watched the anime or read the manga, but it's a popular anime that's going on right now. I think it was this season. Gotcha Kuba, something like that. I think it's on Crunchyroll, but it has mixing with hip hop, fashion into a style within manga, possibly never has been done before. But you actually see that's what happens when you mix things together. You create something new, like the Android, the smartphones, right? Something that's never existed. But the iPhone, right? The iPhone, everything never existed, but came out to be the iPhone because it combines using synthetic imagination and creative imagination to create something new. You may think, hey, Apple doesn't create nothing new each and every month. They slowly they got they updates and all that to make the better product and something new. Like I think that from the iPhone, what is it? iPhone 16. It was overheating. Then they have the iPhone 17. Now it's like durable, it bends and all that other stuff. So they may have to figure out an iPhone 18 to make it even better. Okay. So it happens over time. I know some of you gonna be in the comments, Android. Hey, it doesn't matter, bro. Doesn't matter. I guess I won't say pick your poison, but pick what you like. It's what you like. Okay. You're allowed to remix, just move forward and add it to your soul. Add it what it is. Okay. And this episode's action we're going to talk about today is audit your content diet. Okay. And actually, you can go to Facebook, Instagram, most of this stuff. You can actually control what you see on your page, right? On your page, you can actually control. That's why on Instagram, I always forget about on Instagram. So for Instagram, you can actually go ahead and follow. Go ahead and follow me, Jaron W Mitchell. And there you go to the home, right? Go ahead and scroll. Or let me see. I don't want nothing coming up. You can go ahead and scroll. You got friends right here. But there's also something with Reels, friends. I think I saw something. Let me see. Where's the Explorer page? I don't have right here. Oh yeah, there's Explorer page. So you got something you can control. You can actually control what you see too. So you can actually go in and I think it's like favorites. Yeah. So you hit the Instagram right here, go to favorites. You can actually hit who you favorite the content. You can actually look at that instead of looking at just like on I think on just Instagram. I think when you go on Instagram, you hit following, you click on all your followers who you're actually looking at. So same thing on Facebook. You actually have more control on Facebook, what you want to see and all this other stuff too. And it's up to you. You can also block people. If you don't want to see their content, you block them, unfollow them. You can do that too. So you can control what you see. Okay. So audit your content diet. Make sure what you're seeing is good, what you want to see. You can have control over your food page and all that other stuff, right? And you are consuming more than you're creating. Are you consuming more than you're creating? Build a swipe boat of inspiration library. I think some of this stuff has it where you can actually build a swipe where it inspires you, can help you build upon what you're doing, and start for 30 days. I'm giving you guys a challenge. Okay. Start a 30-day challenge. Every day you consume something and you must create something. Okay. When you consume something, talk about it. If you read a book, talk about what you read in that book. Okay. You watched, I don't know, an anime. Watch what you learned. It could be anything in life. Okay. You went through something taught you. Okay. It doesn't have to be consuming a lot of stuff. It could be something in your own life. Okay. You just create something and just do a vlog or something. Do something, create something, put some content out there. Okay. Be a consumer and producer. Produce a lot. Start putting content out, and that's how you're gonna get people in front of you and seeing your work. Make mistakes. It's okay. Have people see it. You're a human being. I actually need to respond. One of my guys in the episode, I think it was episode 16. Let me see what episode was it. Episode 17. He talked about change my smoke alarm, which I live with my uncle, by the way, but change the smoke alarm batteries. Okay. I don't even know. I was in the middle of recording and I didn't know it was gonna cheap out that like it just came out of nowhere. Okay. So that's what happened. But hey, I left it in there. I was like, forget it. I'm gonna leave it in there. Who cares? If they hear it, they hear it. Oh well, oh well. If you make mistakes, okay. I think I also had a call as well too. Someone was calling me and I had to pause and stuff like that, which I should have just let it play. That would have been better, more human like. But anyways, let's go ahead and recap today's topic that we got today is why be consumer and a producer. Why you need to be consumer and producer. You need to know and understand this law, the Pareto's law, 80-20 rule. 80%. Let me see. It was 20 for many events. Roughly 80% of the effect comes for 20% of the cause. Okay, you got the law of cause and effect. You reap what you sow. 20% is the cause, then the effect. Okay, what's the 20% that cause it? I didn't mention this though, but what the 20% that's going on? What's the one thing you can do? Everything easy be unnecessary. Okay. What is the cause? The law of cause and effect. Okay. 20% of the causes leads to 8% of the effect. Okay. So in this, again, we dived into the 80-20 rule, be a consumer in mind and just produce, build your vision. Okay. Point number 1, devour content like a hungry student. Be the one that would be a hungry student. Make sure where your teachability index is at. Okay. Who do you listen to and what's your teachability index? Raise that above. Okay. Listen to episode 1 and 02. Okay. Episode 1 and 2. Nothing is true in the original. Nothing's new under the sun. Everything is a remix. Study film, study, consume, you know, so that way you can start producing content. Build your inspirational library, reference zone, whatever it is, start building it. Don't consume passively. Analyze what's great, okay? And when consuming, look for shape, language, and all this stuff to study what they're doing and what this work. Model, mimic, and master, okay? Point number 2, don't just be a consumer. Okay, become a creator, become a producer. Okay, ideas are worthless. Execution is everything. Basically, ideas are worthless without action. Okay, make sure you finish, you execute, you finish it. Put the content out there. If it doesn't look bad, put it out anyway. Okay, put it out. Just put it out. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be perfect. Put it out anyways. Watch tutorials. Won't just make you an expert. Drawing does, recording does, publishing does. Actually putting out, actually finishing that art piece, actually finishing it, actually doing it. You can follow along with the tutorial and actually do it and actually help you because you're following along, you're actually doing it. And you can watch it, which is what you could do. You can watch it, then you can go ahead and follow along with it. Okay. So consume 20% that can lead, which is the effect, cause and effect, basically, and 80% of the producing, basically, right? This is Parell's law, flip for creators, okay? So flip for not just creators, for you put out content, okay? If you're a creator or just put anything or write, draw, put content, illustrate, finish that drawing, finish that book, write that book, whatever it is, okay? Point number 3, which is your voice comes through action, not in theory, okay? Everything, theory is just theory. You have to be actually taking action. The law of attraction is taking action, okay? You got to take action. No one's going to, you got to go out and take it. You got to take your goals, take your dreams. You got to willing to put in the work, not just listen to the theory, but actually go out and put in action. This is a problem with personal development space, people that just consume a lot of stuff, self-help books and all that, but don't actually take the necessary actions to get themselves to learn and actually do something, okay? You need to, you just don't find your style. You have to develop it. Which I think was Stephen Silver. No, finding your art style is refinement. It's misdrawings and having refinement over time. That's how you find your style. Probably butchering his whole quote right there. The world is full of consumers. Don't be consuming, but the producer is the one who make the change, who changes that, who put in content, who actually does it. That's why you have content from Warner Brothers films that always put, or just in film in general, and even studios keep putting content out. You don't want to be irrelevant. Okay, put content out. Keep putting stuff out there. Use it, inspire your mental work and your reframing. Okay, point number 4, the 80-20 rule. Okay, for artists and entrepreneurs, the 80-20 rule. Okay, 80% of what you consume should lead to 80% of the production. Okay, producing. Okay, be intentional what you consume. be intentional. Parell's law says roughly 80% of the results come from 20% of the causes. Okay, so roughly 80% of their effort, okay, effect comes for 20% of the causes. It comes from exerted by Italian economist, which is Fredo Pareto in the 19th century. Okay, so and refinement by basic change concept was later developed. Joseph M. John, who applied it to basically quality control and business management, identifying small percentage of factors and divide. And we talked about it a little bit about this. And also point number 5, celebrate remixes. And again, make sure you go ahead and take the action. Make sure you do it as 30 days challenge. Once you learn something, go out and put the content out. Okay. PoFoaks is not where we at. It's where we come from. Always create like a God. You're the master of your fate. You're the captain of your soul. You're made in the image of God. God gave you a brain to think for yourself. So take full possession of your own mind. Worship the one true creator, which I believe no God, no deed is worthy of worship except Allah. And always create like a God. And before we go ahead and end this episode, okay, make sure you go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can get some more episodes on my YouTube channel. If you're listening on to Apple Podcasts and Apple Podcasts and Spotify, make sure Okay. Make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review and follow. If you like this episode, if you have some feedback you're going to end up giving me, I talked about this, I will create an episode on it and I will get some learning lessons on from this, because without your questions, without your commenting, without me knowing, because I could have some blind spots, I will go ahead and learn. I'm going to take from it. But always, okay? And also, too, go to jaronmitchell.com/iconic marketer. Get your free online course, The Way for Creative Freedom, and also copy our recession-proof business model, okay? You can go ahead and scan this QR code. Everything being on the show notes in the description below, okay? And always, always create like a god.